knows exactly what he's doing. He's not going to weaken a future generation of his established people to be on this earth. No, no. They're going to be strong. And we all know what it takes to build strength. You have to lift weights. You know what that means? You have to go into this repetitious exercise of lifting and holding things that defy you. That's called lifting weights. Right? See, everybody wants to be in shape. Everybody gets envious of somebody in shape. The problem is they don't like the process. Let's go ahead and face it. They don't like the process. I remember one time I got out of lifting weights. It was only for like a month or something like that, right? And I remember when I got back to lift, I was so glad because it was so strange to me not to work out, not to do anything. It was so strange. Then there was another time I got out of it it was about a couple years. It was so hard for me to get back into it. I said, now I know my body remembers, how I was in shape, this, that, and the other. But see, my mind was like, is there another way? Is there another way to get the strength back, to get the speed back, to get the stamina back without having to go through that day-to-day workout? Because a workout is when you lift things that do not want to be lifted and you push things that push back and you pull things that pull against you. Boy, it sounds like life, huh? Sounds like a person. They say, I'm miserable. Nothing is working out. Oh, well, see, they're not telling the truth. Everything is working out, and everything is a workout. It sounds just like that person is going to the gym, doesn't it? They pull in one direction, their situation pulls in another. They push something, and it pushes back. They lift it, and gravity works. Sounds like life, doesn't it? I hear people say it all the time. Every time I try to go that way, I get stopped. Well, keep pushing. That's called a workout. Now, if you want to build a football team, would you take a bunch of kids that do not work out, but just sit in a chair and read books all day? Are they going to make a good football team? Nope, they're not. They may have the strategy, but they won't have the physical endurance or strength to endure what will come. They won't be able to endure, right? Their little bones are going to snap like twigs. Their bones won't be reinforced. Their joints will not be used to stretching. Therefore, they won't double in their thickness, strength, and size. Muscle fibers are going to be very weak. It's going to be a lot of hernias out there because of that, right? But when you work out, you actually rip the body up. Somebody told me one time, don't bench press every day. I bench pressed every single day until I could not see my feet. How about that? And it paid off because I was able to do things that the average person could not do because of that. All it did was rip your muscles and make other muscles grow in between. So the more you work out, the more resilient you become to everything, especially external damage. You become resilient to external damage when you work out, believe it or not. For a person who does not work out, if they were hit with a telephone pole, it would break a whole bunch. For a person who works out, if they were hit with a telephone pole, believe it or not, your muscles protect your bones and vital organs. And if they start flexing, they can become as hard as bone. Did you know that? That person may not endure any damage or little to no damage, but it requires a person to work out. You're not going to work out 1 week and then solve the issue. No. So the Father's raising what? A generation that can endure it. He raised some of you that way. He made you to be able to take some things. We don't like the process, which is why I believe that's why we start out small. Because if we started out at this size, we would not agree to any of the processes in the earth. Why do I know that? Because when people grow up, even after knowing what they have to do, they still don't want to do it. Isn't that something? Well, an old guy, if a guy was 90 years old, do you think he's going to be so quick to go to the gym if he had never been there? No, because he knows what fatigue is. He knows what exhaustion is. Young people don't know what fatigue is. They don't know what exhaustion is. Young people are invincible. Doesn't that go through their minds? They don't know enough to not like it. You have to get old and wise to truly see what's happening. So when you're young, you tend to bypass things, right? You do. So we start out as babies, fortified for quite a few things. And many of you who have endured plenty of things on this earth, it's a funny thing because you may complain right now, but you don't realize the other ones that went through the same exact thing you did, they didn't make it, but you did. You don't know the ones who did not make it. They folded. They could not endure. They were mentally wiped out, physically wiped out. They gave up the ghost. They quit, but you did not. And it doesn't even matter if you got close because you did not. You're still here. Can't you see that? God fortified you. And by the way, those people who did go through quite a few things are going to be stronger than most of the people who talk right now. Most people who talk right now, they're not going to be as strong as some of you who are very quiet. Just take note. One day you're going to be gone, and if you're a parent, remember that. God does not raise weaklings, does he? He does not. He's raising his family. That's what he's raising, his family. And that means if he's not going to raise weaklings, to a degree, everybody gets a workout, which is why we are promised trials and tribulations. They're not some bad thing from the pit of hell. When it comes to you, because you're bought with a price. If God sanction it, you're not going to go through it. But if he did sanction it just for you, you're going to grow by it. You have an opportunity to grow by it. That's why I used the analogy of the gym, because it's almost the exact same thing. In life, many things will resist a person, and it will seem harsh and cruel. Well, so does the gym. And nobody who works out can ever see their own growth. They always think they're nothing until a time comes when that strength is challenged. And after many years of working out, they find themselves to be so much stronger than the ones who are not so diligent, in this case, who didn't get the workout. You live in a time like no other. You guys were born with that information. Don't allow anybody to talk you into covering that up. You were born with revelation deep inside of you. Nobody had to tell you, go read Revelation. You did that on your own. You're drawn to it. So let no one talk you into somehow believing that you're not supposed to have any of these situations going on in your life. Because just as sure as people will translate from this body, separating from this world, a time will come when you will have no troubles on the face of the earth. Do you know that? A time will come when everything you're going through right now, you will not have a thought of. A time will come where all of your training, everything you received of the living God, you will use it. God doesn't do anything useless. And you better believe that everything he put in you is going to be utilized. Never think somehow you're going to be wasted. You're not going to do anything. Don't let Satan convince you of thinking like that, because don't give him a seat at the table of your mind with such thoughts. Don't do that, because then you become like the Gnostic individuals who started changing and altering what they heard and what they saw to suit their new paradigm they thought was real. They thought it was real. Why? Because they could not master nor control what they were given. And some people don't like that, right? They don't like that. Don't become like that. Don't let Satan talk you into believing a lie. Jesus gave you the truth, did he not? Did he not say you were victorious? Did he not say that he put restoration upon you? Didn't he say that? Didn't he say that you're being raised to a level where you can believe so you can receive it because it's already essentially been given to you? Didn't he say that? Didn't he also say God does not lie, nor can he fail? He's not like man that he should lie.